Well, good evening, everyone. Sorry for being a bit later than usual, but I have been trying to wait on, well, essentially when the council results would come in. Normally, by about 5 in the morning, they're out. We've got a good picture of what's happened, and maybe there would only be a few more councils to report in, but this one's been a bit strange. And I don't know whether it's just been maybe it's been the coronation. I don't know, but these results today have just been coming in throughout the day. I mean, when we woke up this morning, we were looking at about the Tories were down by about 250 seats. I think something like that. I think it was this morning, and every moment they've been really just upping and upping and upping and more. And just in the past hour or so, just literally in the past hour or so, we have finally seen the scale of what has come in. I mean, just look at that. Minus 1012, and we are 218 out of 350. So there's still a couple more councils to report, but the fact that they have now well and truly lost over 1,000 seats, this was this has not been just a bad night. This has not just been a bad night for the Tories. This has been a bad day, and it's been a nightmare of a bad day. Because these results, as we said, leading up to this election, are going to be scrutinized. These results are going to be scrutinized with a fine tooth comb. Like, what does this mean for the general election? And to be honest, there's going to be a lot of worried Tories over the weekend. That's for sure. A lot of very, very worried Tories over the weekend. So the fact that they went over 1,000 is kind of shocking in a way, but very much well deserved. I mean, we've had Boris Johnson, all the mess he had, followed by Liz Truss, all the mess he had. Rishi Sunak's come in, hasn't been able to deal with any of these crises. The economy is being still absolutely in a terrible state. Is having all these strikes, nurses strikes, rail strikes, and not just sort of big service strikes as well. There's a teacher strike on the way as well. You've had constant rebellions under Rishi Sunak in the House of Commons. This is someone who was built or at least sold as a steady pair of hands, someone who could steady the ship and at least prevent this type of result from happening. Well, turns out he has failed, very much failed in this result. That is certainly very true for sure. In fact, actually, we'll just go back to this for a second, because see, as you can see, I don't know. We'll refresh it, see if any more have come in. No, nothing more has come in. But yeah, the fact that they've gone over that now, that they've reached the 1,000, there's a lot of worried Tories now, a lot of worry. And if you've been following along on Twitter all day today, there has been absolutely nothing but pure coping. Like, there has been non-stop coping from the Tories over this. Now, the thing is, the knives are out for Sunak, I think, now. Will they replace him? I don't think so. Will this cause a lot of chaos? Absolutely. But to be honest, the critics of Sunak have now once again going to be finding their voices, and you do not know what this momentum could coagulate into. It could very well coagulate into them wanting to get rid of Rishi Sunak before the next general election because he's just so bad. I mean, this is a quote from one of the Tories that has come in. So this is what an inside source has said. So Rishi has no option but to own these results. He has been Chancellor or Prime Minister for virtually all of the last 3 years. And it was he and his supporters who forced Boris Johnson out, then Liz Truss out of office in order to install himself in Downing Street. The saying goes, it's the economy, stupid. That defines the choice voters have at the ballot box. Sunak was Chancellor, who had presided over the stagnation of the British economy and hiked taxes to their highest level in 70 years while failing to seize any of the advantages of leaving the European Union. It is little wonder so many previous conservative voters have failed to back us yesterday. So this is a reminder of just how under the surface the wounds are still raw in the Tory party, and very searching questions are now going to be asked by senior figures about its direction. So, um, I think they're going to start infighting again. I really do. I would expect, certainly over the weekend, potentially to see more opinion pieces. I mean, I think you're going to see probably like Boris Johnson and Liz Truss speak up as well. It wouldn't surprise me if you would see those people speak up, because after all, look, he this Sunak got rid of me for this. And Boris would have said, oh, I could have avoided this. Liz Truss could have said, oh, don't worry, if you'd have stuck with me, the economy would have been fine. We'd have avoided this. We'd have sailed through this. This wouldn't have been a problem. And not only that, you're going to get other Conservatives come out and start attacking Rishi Sunak. So as someone who was already a very, very weak Prime Minister, he has become even weaker. So expect more rebellions. Expect more Conservatives to be even more disloyal towards Rishi Sunak, because why bother? Rishi Sunak has already shown that if you speak out against him or you don't toe the party line, he's not going to punish you. He might end up punishing Johnson, but there's a couple of other Tories potentially not going to get punished for speaking out against him, for criticising him. Like I say, remember, he didn't remove the whip from Johnson over voting against the Northern Ireland Protocol. Neither did he remove it from Liz Truss. So all those old wounds that Sunak did to get himself into there, to remove Johnson, to remove Truss, is it going to lead to maybe a potential downfall of Sunak? Well, who knows? But I'll tell you now, you're going to get more disunity, more disloyalty, and this is going to absolutely lead to more rebellions. Because why should you be loyal to Rishi Sunak, who when you look at these results, doesn't bode well for a general election? Why should any Conservative be loyal to Rishi Sunak, especially after these votes? I mean, 1,012 down by so far. What have they got to be loyal to? It can only spell and probably lead to further trouble. What trouble that may take, who knows? But I'll tell you now, Rishi Sunak has probably not been having a very good day and has probably been on the phone most of the day to senior Tories to try and sort of keep things smooth as much as possible. But trust me, he has not had a very good day. So there is someone who's going to be cracking open the beer at the end of today, if not already. But as always, thank you very much for joining us today. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and one today's link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee. And as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, we'll see you all next time.